Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single £1.20, a return only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Sunday afternoon flagship podcast. I'm your host, the Governor. This is Talking Town. I am looking forward to discussing yesterday's 0-0 draw against Oxford with you all. We can't win when we sit in these chairs and discuss the games. You know, if we look at it one way, we're accused of being negative. We look at it another way, we're accused of being happy clappers. So, as always, what we'll do is we'll deliver our opinions with 100% honesty and passion for the love of our football club. You may like them, you may not like them, but it'll always be 100% honest and truthful with you. I can see the chat is absolutely going wild. I love a chat that goes wild. So do get those messages in. There will be a live link as well for you to have your say. But as always, if you don't get on today's show, there is the Talking Town Extra Time show tomorrow night, 8:30, with myself, George, and one other. The name escapes me. I'll know before the end of the show. Don't worry. I'll consult the diary. But yeah, you can get on that show as well. Leighton Durrant in the chat. Welcome in, Leighton. I really enjoy today's game, apart from not winning. We seem to play well against the attacking teams. Welcome in, Kevin. Welcome in, Lee. The Fisherman is here. Absolutely loving it. Right. So 0-0. Get your comments in about yesterday. Joe Pickett, obviously, is a talking point, only getting 3 minutes. Was it even that? I don't know if it was. There's lots to unpack from a 0-0. But first of all, let's get a contributor in the room. Before I do, actually, don't forget you can support us through Ko-Fi. Links in the chat. Or you can support us through YouTube Super Chats. I will read out any Super Chats on the screen. I will even interrupt people to do so, because your super chats mean the world to me. So get them in if you want to support the platform and have your voice 100% heard over even Matt, little Matt Phillips. Even if he's speaking, I will definitely cut him up. Matthew!
Hey, how you doing?
24 hours since I saw you. I've missed you. How have you been?
We've dried out since.
It's just nature bouncing off you, that's all.
Yeah, I liked how you said that. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I went to the Remembrance Sunday parade in Chelmsford this morning, which was very good.
Oh, did you? Did you happen to see this fella there this time?
Mike Tyson. Can you believe Mike Tyson turned up to one of the Remembrance Sunday parades in Chelmsford? It's going back a few years. He'd done like one of them corporate shows at like a hotel out near Colchester. I don't know if he was going back to Heathrow to fly back to the States, but yeah, he was there. I didn't
Corporate
see
Tyson. Corporate Tyson.
Yeah, I didn't see that particular day, typically. But yeah, he was there. But,
you really have.
It was a good parade. It was well attended.
How did it go?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Anybody pass out?
Well. Talking of passing out, it's an army term, that isn't it? Three young cadets fainted, all within about 90 seconds of each other. But they recovered enough to take part in the parade. But
was it Well, it must have been outside though, right?
It was outside. I think they were dehydrated because I think they start early. They march through.
Yeah,
got all the gear.
Yeah,
they all had like drums and things. But poor kids. But they were okay. They were right.
Yeah, obviously the Queen didn't make her usual appearance at the. She didn't make it. I don't think she made it. I'm sure I just saw a comment somewhere saying she didn't make it. So that's a shame. But you know, she does deserve to have her feet up by now, don't she? Don't you think?
Oh my God, what would you be doing at 95?
I'm not going to see 95. Let's be honest. Hey, Matt Stannard, he's putting in £8.99 of his £50 he won from the Cruncher. Darren Matt's one phone super chat. Bailey Clement's league debut. I hope the Cruncher Matt has seen a doctor because he said, and I quote, Bailey Clements won't play a league game as long as I've got hole in my ass. Well, he better see a doctor, Matt, because that hole must have been.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he? That was good. Was that in the summer? Was that in the summer? Or the start
that was on a Friday night press conference show when
Matt
kept putting Bailey Clements in the left back.
That's right. Well, Matt's been proved correct, hasn't he? Shout out, Matt. Mike D wants me back on that Romanian wine. I've run out now. I've drunk it all.
Yeah, we'll sort you out. Don't worry. Before we do go any further, I think, as we just mentioned, it's really important to highlight what the Cruncher has done and how proud I am as a friend and how proud I am from the platform's point of view that he has managed to take an idea and just develop it into what it is. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what it is, you will have a video from the Cruncher in just a second. But the total that you, I guess, have raised, Matt, is a whopping, eye-watering, staggering £381.50. Can we confirm the 50p came from you?
I haven't got much money at the moment. I've got to say, I'm still paying off lots of things that have been going on. I'm really just to reiterate what you said there. We're really proud of Rich because he's actually a really good example of using social media for something that's good. He's used he's got about 3,000 followers. Rich, he's taken an idea from I think it was a guy called Matt. And he's taken it and used his platform to get that. We always call it the snowball rolling. He's done that, and there we are. Unbelievable amounts of people getting involved. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
Cali Crunch is a good one. It's just not just a bedsheet advert. I wonder if the people who call him bedsheets are running into the hundreds of pages that they normally do when they discuss him, or is it all going a bit quiet?
Can they afford to donate? That'd be a nice thing to do if they could afford it.
You say about social media. Obviously, somebody this morning, I'm not going to say names, has obviously tried to spin it into a negative.
Yeah.
That's why do they do that, Matt? Why?
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with people. I mean, that's where I think all this toxicity comes from on the ITFC timeline. That supposedly people commenting on stuff, and there's no negative to that at all, is there? There's no positive to that at all, is it? It's all negative. It's all negative.
No, exactly. And how do you take a positive idea, which is what Cruncher has done? May not been his own idea originally, but he's taken it, and you have to develop it from something that was.
He's amplified it, isn't he? Just amplified
he's got a following, and he's amplified it thanks to his following, and it's a really good thing. So here is the Cruncher, and then we'll bring in our third and final member of the team, the wonderful Kate Riley, joining us all the way from Singapore. It's a Kate Riley weekend. We love Kate Riley weekends, but here is the Cruncher, first and foremost, with information on how to get involved.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you are all well and you're going to have a great show. Hi to the Gov, Kate and Matt. Just to keep you all informed about the Pack Out Portman Road ticket, I'd call it a ticket giveaway that I'm arranging. We are about 150 quid away from £3,000, which is absolutely unbelievable. I cannot believe since Friday night my phone has literally not stopped. Messages coming in off Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. None from Bebo though. What happened to Bebo? Anyway, if you haven't already donated and you want to donate, you know where to find me on Twitter at @thecruncher76, or contact me on Facebook or Instagram. I was going to close this tonight, but I think I'm going to keep it open. I'm talking to Dan Palfrey tomorrow about how it's going to be arranged, like ticket distribution. I've also got a local charity on board. They helped Carl Fuller when he done his back in, I think it was 18-19, West Brom. But yeah, if you know of anyone who wants to donate, just head them over my way. And if you have donated already, a massive thank you, because it is incredible what we've already achieved, and hopefully we can raise a lot more money. But if you donate a tenner, a fiver, it doesn't matter. It all helps and it all adds up. So yeah, I'm rambling a bit now, but I hope you all have a great show.
You are, Rich. Yeah, you're rambling just a little bit there. You needed winding up, Matt. You needed,
he's very proactive, Rich, isn't he? In terms of
Yeah.
everything he does, in terms of what he does behind the scenes for this show and getting involved with that. Like we say, amplifying with the blessing of Matt, whose idea it was in the first place. Brilliant.
Absolutely. Right. Here is our wonderful third and final member, Kate Riley. Welcome, Kate.
Hi,
How are you doing?
Hello, guys. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really well. Thanks for having me back. I'm off my antibiotics, so I'm getting there.
We love having you on the show. Obviously, you're here this weekend and next weekend. It's double whammy. We love that. What we don't love, obviously, is yesterday's game. But before we mention the game and get into the nitty gritty of a 0-0, what you may not, well, what you definitely won't have seen, obviously in the flesh, is the improvements to the Sir Bobby Robson stand. So we've got the sort of the images from ITFC website. Thanks to Dan Palfrey and co for allowing us to use those. And Matt, you thought it'd be a great idea if we sort of ran through what is on them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
what is that?
This is the
Town
first
3
one,
yeah,
and it's Derby. Is it Derby Dan at the Double? Town 3 Norwich one, the championship, November 19th, 2006. Kate, you must remember that game.
I do. The anniversary of that coming up. I remember that game because my birthday's the day before. So
is it?
Yeah. So yeah, that was a great weekend. So I can't believe how professional it looks.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it is. I think it's Parrott, the gentleman called, I think it's Marcus Parrott is the name.
Is it?
I think.
Is it?
That's the 4-0, Matt. Town 0, Newcastle 4, honouring a legend. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I get why that's there.
The stand opened.
But equally, we were smashed.
Yeah. We conceded 3 goals in 4 minutes.
Weren't they wearing a yellow kit that game?
I think they were in their stripes that day. Newcastle.
It was on BBC Sport, wasn't it? And not John Nolan, fucking John Nolan, Kevin Nolan. He absolutely tore us apart, didn't he?
There was a guy on our row. He went to the toilet at half an hour. He came back 4 minutes later, and we were 3 down.
Gosh,
he missed 3 goals.
Then we've got Herman plays to the crowd.
Yeah.
We've got Town 3, Bradford 1. Obviously, when he dives into the crowd. Kate, do you remember that one?
No, I'm too young.
That was a Sunday. That was a Sunday on Sky, wasn't it? And in the end, Kate, they didn't give the goal to Herman. They gave it to, what was his name? Mark Birchall? Was it Birchall? It was on loan.
Yes, that's right. They did. You're correct. Yeah.
So Herman dives into the North Stand, and it wasn't even his goal in the end.
Oh my God.
Then we've got the highly debated Tamas Thames the Gunners, obviously with the what was that one?
That was a great moment in the League Cup, wasn't it?
Should it be on there? Really? Is that a great enough moment?
Yeah, it's got to be on there. That's the game where Fabregas said we were a rugby team. We were just hoofing the ball.
Colin Healy with the deflected pass. Ole, obviously Pablo's the 3-2 win over Coventry, where he scores in the dying minutes.
I missed that one. I was en route to Ipswich and had an upset stomach, so I had to come home. So I missed it.
The 5-3, Jim Inspires Magic Night. I think we all remember that one. That was a hell of a day. And he's behind you. Town 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. From this season. Yeah, absolutely.
A great moment, to be fair.
Well, yeah, we said yesterday on yesterday's show, I'm not quite sure why that's on there. And I have got, for those that haven't seen yesterday's pre-game show, we did spin the camera around for you to capture what it looks like, as close as we possibly can for you.
It's really good. Really good. Kate will recognise this. Don't you think that ideas come from the Americans, Kate?
Absolutely.
You see outside the ballpark, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to go away and see what I can find. I wonder if Atlanta United have done something similar.
Yeah.
And compare and contrast this week. So
Mike the Fishman
I don't have enough things to do, but I will go away and have a look.
Mike the Fishman, the club's coming back to the fans.
Yeah. I mean, we've said it before, haven't we? The only thing Marcus Evans ever did to the stadium was put his own name on it.
True.
Oh, that just makes me cringe.
Yeah, it's true. But there we go. So that's a good part of the new stadium experience. And the Americans are all for it. Matt Slater said that, low-hanging fruit, I think Matt Slater called those sorts of things when we did the Athletic special pre-takeover. And he's right, aren't they? Because when you get the pack out PR campaign and you get new fans new fans back or new fans altogether, the experience is the most important thing. And seeing things like that, you know, it's a part of it.
Connection, isn't it? Makes you feel part of the community, the connection to that. Kids will want to come back again.
Right. And we've all had a year, well, last year, where we didn't have any of that. We were all robbed of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is what makes, you know, you mentioned the community there and being robbed of it. It's what makes this platform really good, you know, because we've got a group of people, as you probably saw a bit on that pre-game video, where we meet up at a certain location, having just all come together through this platform. You know, you've got Josh and Ben, who are very close friends. I said to Josh yesterday, so how long you known Ben? He went, I just met him through the platform. And I was like, wow, you know,
they seem like they've known each other years, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah. They are, almost, you know, inseparable. And we
get Lloyd, and he's got a vast array of American sports hats, doesn't he?
And he's done videography at college, so like, right, we'll get you involved then, Lloyd. Absolutely. But every time we go, there's more people. The Durrants, obviously 2 out of 5 of the Durrants anyway showed up and were there, and Matt Spanner with his Bailey Clements, absolutely jubilation. But it's really good, and you know, they're making it a nice place to be as well now. You know, you're not just stood outside a stadium that's got green algae on the roof.
Exactly. And one guy rocked up and asked how to donate to the Crunchers thing.
He did. We got right, but we then go into the stadium and we've got to watch what happens on the grass for 90 minutes. And yesterday there wasn't an awful lot. So we've got Andrew Laws to get a few comments before we get into our thoughts of the 0-0. Andrew Laws, hi all, enjoy yesterday's game. I thought for the neutral it was quite entertaining, except Oxford couldn't keep on their feet and a soft ref 1 point apiece was well deserved. Bod the nod. Agree, Mike. Maybe tweak it slightly. 2 number 10 instead of 200 midfielders if he's not prepared to put 2 up front. That's regarding obviously Paul Cook, Kevin Flavin. Looking forward to visiting a game for Ipswich on Sunday in December, a proper football ground, and John Ipswich. Stadium is looking so much better. So, Matt, how did you see yesterday's 0-0 draw? Break it down for us, and we'll ask Kate's thoughts.
Well, the thing is, Kate, Friday, everyone was calling me negative. A, because I've been drinking a lot of wine. They thought I was drunk.
A lot of wine.
B, I was pointing to the fact that, you know, in the last 2 games, we've not beaten 2 League 2 teams. So I couldn't see why everyone thought we were going to go there and turn Oxford over there, 6th place. You know, we drew 1-1 with Oldham, very underwhelming. Colchester 0-0 in the week. And it kind of panned out. I thought it probably would. I don't know, we've only gone gun shy since the Wycombe game. Was the Wycombe... Look, don't ever go at me in the comments. Was the Wycombe game a flash in the pan, maybe? I don't know, because we certainly haven't turned it on since then, have we?
We certainly haven't, no.
We might turn it on when we go to the Stadium of Light.
Well, maybe. That's a good time to play.
That's a proper ground.
Absolutely. And, you know, but we've had 3 home games now. We've not won any of them. since we beat Wycombe, right? So, I don't know. The decision-making wasn't very good yesterday. Selena seemed off the pace to me, and passes were over here, and we couldn't get Wes Burns in the game, Kate, to start with. I don't think the ball went down the right flank at all in the first half. It was all
No, it didn't. Kate, obviously you're in Singapore. You're a little bit removed from it. What were your thoughts from the 0-0, and also what do you sort of want to know about yesterday's game and question and find out?
Well, all I read and heard was like how terrible the ref was, how terrible that their number 10 was, and just But it was quite interesting that people are saying that we should have confidence and that we will probably end up in the playoffs. So that's
should do with the squad though, Kate. That's
right.
That's, you know.
So it's quite a turnaround from perhaps where we were like a month ago or maybe 6 weeks ago. So it's funny I'm on the show tonight or this afternoon for you guys, because I actually said that Paul Cook had until this international break. And he's still in charge. So
he is. And I think he will be for a while. And that's which way you want to look at it. Some will look at it negatively and some will look at it positively, I guess.
I think these 3 games have kind of illustrated how under par we are at the moment, below par, whatever you want to call it. I call it underwhelming. Because at the start of the season, everyone's going, look at that Ipswich squad. It's unbelievable. It'll walk the division. And I've stuck a tenner or some hard-earned cash on us being champions. And the top team at the moment is Plymouth, cobbled together by 3 transfers. So this team is not the last 3 games. You know, I've been there for 2 live ones, and I watched the Colchester one, streamed it, and it's just not. It's just, for the caliber of play we've got, the performances aren't good enough.
I guess the question is, do you feel Paul Cook's utilising the squad to its fullest potential?
Well, I think so with the tactics that he plays, the 4-2-3-1. Now, within injury time yesterday, Kate, he suddenly changed it up. Stuck Piggott on, we'll come to that in a minute, and played 4-4-2 for about 90 seconds.
Wow.
So here's the question. Speaking of potential, like on paper, we look at our squad and we say, oh, they're amazing. But then when it comes down to performances, it's like, and I don't know, there just seems to be that mismatch.
Yeah.
Something's not quite right. We've said it on this show before. There's one piece missing, and I can't work out what it is.
Well, I can.
Really
weird.
weird.
You won't like my answer. No one likes my answer. That's the issue. Nobody likes the answer I give. So I'm not even going to say it.
It's the manager.
It's got to be the manager, because you've got a squad that's, you know, people will say it's better than last year. Well, in all respects, it should be better than last year because the budget is bigger, I would anticipate, than last year. It's got to be
massively so. Massively so.
Yeah, you've got Berson Selena, who's cost millions in on loan. That's not done for a squad who's building for a long term get out of the league. You know, like it's got to be top 6 at a minimum, and that should be very achievable.
Yeah, we said that, didn't we? When you've got that budget, those resources. Paul Cook's got an abundance of resources compared to probably everyone combined, other than probably Sunderland and Portsmouth. Even
I look at yesterday's game, and I look at Oxford, and they press us high to force us to go long, and Bond's not going to win that many headers in the air. But at no point do we ever sort of change the question. Okay, you've answered the questions we've got in terms of trying to beat the press and play to feet. So let's give you a different set of questions, Kate, and let's see if you could answer those different set of questions. Like 93rd minute, Joe Piggott. What does he expect him to do in 120 seconds? Most of which Oxford spend most on the floor. You know,
it was a joke. It was a joke. Certainly when Cook had said, hadn't he? Oh, I feel like I need to apologise to Piggott for not getting the game time. And then there we are at 0-0. I would have stuck him on with half hour to go, just to give it a different option.
Yeah.
Look at Marcus Stewart on the show. If you get strike out and scored after an hour, change it up.
Yeah. But I think most people would do the same, wouldn't they?
Well,
like most people yesterday at the stadium were probably sitting there.
It's not like we're bringing Hawkins on, is it? You're bringing some geezer on who scored 20+ goals in the same division.
This is
I don't get it. It's really odd. It's really weird.
Well, it is really weird, and it's well, Friday night he's saying we're consistent, Matt, and then the inconsistencies show itself up. When you saw the lineup, Kate, for last Saturday's game against Oldham, and it was the same lineup as the team that beat Wickham, and then you saw the result, what were your thoughts all the way over in Singapore?
Honestly, it just doesn't add up, and I just really don't feel the owners have the man they want managing the team.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel a bit despondent being a Town fan right now. Yeah.
Okay. I felt that over the last week as well. Three home games.
That's reassuring. Good. I'm glad I'm not.
Why do you both feel despondent? Talk me through your despondency. What's
it's just like for me, Kate. It's just like, as Curtis said on the show probably about a month ago. The fanfare of the Americans coming in, and then you got Ashton coming in and O'Leary, the chairman, and then you see the caliber of player that we're signing, and that sent out a volume of message, didn't it? That this is the season. We're going to go right through League One. And of course, Mark Steve tweeted, "God have mercy on League One." Probably not the greatest thing to have done, really, in hindsight. But there you go. At least it was American enthusiasm, right? We are so far below that, where we should be when you put all that together, aren't we? We're not supposed to be. Was it 9th in League One?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 9th. Yeah.
We're supposed to be in the top 2. You know, Chaplin and Morsey haven't dropped down divisions and taken huge wage cuts. They're probably on pretty much the same wages, I would have thought, which is the incentive to come.
Yeah, and Matt, it's not just wage cuts. It's like facilities at training. It's like attention to detail with nutrition and you know, all that kind of extra stuff.
Yeah, it's just really disappointing. I think we said like end of September, there was a little bit of leeway there, wasn't there? It's the volume of new players, 19 new players, got to try and get this team working together. We all thought probably with the experience and expertise there, it will take until the end of September. And here we are going into December. And we're well below par for me.
I bring up the Oxford selection because obviously then he plays more or less the same team the following week. Is that because obviously the week before he's saying, well, we weren't at it, the professionalism or whatever he was saying in regards to that performance. What he actually said escapes me while we sit here live. But do you think he held those players accountable, putting the same 11, maybe -1? Bailey Clements back on the pitch. Is that holding them accountable to their professional standard, Matt? Or is that saying it's acceptable? You played really poorly last week. You didn't really put the shift in. You didn't really bring in the standards and the culture to the game. But the same 11, despite making 19 new signings, the same 11 is back
pretty
out
much
there against
Oxford, wasn't it? Yeah, other than Bailey Clements. Yeah, I feel like probably he said to him in the dressing room that wasn't a good enough performance against Oldham. Let's see you turn it around and put a shift in on Saturday, almost giving them like a second chance, I would say, Kate. I would have thought. But I don't know. It's just like I feel so underwhelmed at the moment. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean there. And obviously, because it is the poor start, Kate, you know, the draw against Morecambe, the defeat against Cheltenham, the draw against MK Dons, where I think it was MK Dons, we were leading 2-0, or AFC, one of the two Wimbledons. Those results, does that make yesterday's result feel a little bit bigger than what it is? Because you've not given points over to Oxford, but you've equally not closed the gap on Oxford.
Yeah. That's it. And it's just all of it combined. So I feel really conflicted because like I love what the owners are doing and I love how Portman Road's looking and like I love all the improvements and I love the vision. And so that's like exciting as a Town fan.
Yeah.
But honestly, like when I wake up, because the games are played at like 3:45 a.m. these days for me. It's like then I wake up and see the result. It's like, oh, why did I even bother checking?
Yeah.
Well,
what are you expecting then when you wake up over there, Kate? Are you expecting were you expecting to see a Town win like a 1-0 or something? What are you expecting?
I guess it kind of depends where I am hormonally.
Yeah.
I'd say normally upbeat. It depends how much chocolate I need, and then it's like, oh.
Well, you're lucky you didn't get up for the first half because that would have put you back to sleep. I absolutely would have assured you on that one. But then Matt, we get this. This is what I said at the top of the show. If we tackle it one way, you're accused of negativity. Tackle it another way, it's happy clapping. So we just do it with our honest opinions. But when Stephen says that #positivity, what do you immediately think?
Be positive, but you also look. We are saying facts here. They have played 3 home games in a week, 2 against League 2 opposition,
and scored 2 goals.
And we scored
1 goal.
1 goal. You can't get away from the facts, and the facts remain that if you don't take points off top 6 sides, it makes it very difficult to get into the top 6 for me. So that was a missed opportunity yesterday. Absolutely was a missed opportunity. And, you know, I'm getting a little bit sick of Cook saying, oh, well, I feel like we deserved to win that game. Well, what you think you deserved and what you got are 2 different things. At the same, I don't think Oxford deserved to lose the game yesterday, actually. I thought they defended pretty well and they were a good unit. And funny enough, Martin, when you said, you know, we were talking about we always talk about, Kate, like who could come in if Cook wasn't around. Carl Robinson's someone who I think has applied to be the Ipswich gaffer twice. I think
I'd be really pro him.
Yeah,
I've interviewed him, worked like alongside him. I really like him. He's not that far off age-wise with the players.
He's about 41, 42, I think.
Right, so things aren't lost in translation. And we'll get to answering Roy Clark's question in a minute, and I'll tell you how it is in a second.
I'm pretty certain he applied when Jill left. I'm pretty certain he was in the frame when Hurst came in.
Oh, he would have been so much better than both of them. Oh my God.
Look how well that Oxford team was set up yesterday, Martin, weren't they? There was energy about them. And we said in the post-match show, Kate, that when Oxford were counter-attacking, they looked dangerous, they looked quick. And Ipswich just seemed so pedestrian. And when we do, on the odd occasion, counter-attack, it just fizzles to nothing. It just doesn't seem that togetherness there like there was. And Oxford have probably been together longer, I get that. But, they've had blips as well. They got some playoffs last year. And they were like 2-3 down after about 20 minutes against Blackpool. So, but
they've been to playoffs two years in a row, haven't they?
Yeah, on the back of slow starts as well.
But Kate, Roy Clark, why do not the people who interview Paul Cook asking the right questions? Like, what is the point of bringing Piggott on with 3 minutes to go?
Right. Couple of things. The people that are answering questions, maybe their company that they're working for spends thousands, if not million a year on sports commentary rights. And so therefore, if you upset the manager, then those rights might be in jeopardy. And remember when they went to Town 102 and like, bless them, it was just a disaster. Remember those days?
I do, yes. Yes, I do,
okay.
Town
102,
So then there's that. And then also, you know how a few weeks ago, Paul Cook got very snippy with a journalist that works at a national level?
Yep.
Quest TV was, Quest,
Right. And then it's like, do you really want to be dealing with that? No.
He was also quite snappy with the Portsmouth reporter,
he
wasn't he?
Outside the stadium, actually.
Yeah.
Right. And, you don't get paid a lot as a journalist or in the media, as a whole. So you got to be thinking, if I'm freelance, I don't want to have the rest of the season cancelled just because Paul Cook snapped at me. So,
You then also get the flip side to go to John Thorpe's comment here, and that's really good commentary there, Kate. Thank you. 1 defeat in 10. That's a fact. # positivity.
Yeah.
What when you read that, Kate? What comes? Obviously, you did despondent. You said earlier. What comes to mind then?
No, I appreciate another point of view. I guess it's like the style in which we're playing, or just all the hype behind the scenes isn't translating on the pitch.
Exactly.
I think that's true. Yeah, obviously the last 10 have been Doncaster, who were bottom, then Accrington and Stanley, who we got beat by. Then you've got Shrewsbury, which you should be beating with any budget if you're Ipswich Town Football Club. Cambridge, which you surrendered a 2-0 lead to draw 2-2. Portsmouth, who at that point weren't doing great guns, but it's a great result. I'm not going to take anything away from Cook and the side.
Very good.
It can't be 1 defeat in 10 because you played Plymouth and they beat us, and it could be obviously 2. Then you got Wickham, you beat 4-1, and then Oxford 0-0. So this division is poor outside of the top 7, 8 teams. We know that through the fact we drew so many games last year 0-0 that we were still within touching distance of the playoffs. That shows the level of it. I like what Kate said there, Matt. The excitement and the euphoria and the quality isn't coming through on the football field at the moment.
No, it's not. We had the fan forum, of course, on last Monday, Kate, and it was great. The transparency is brilliant. And you've got Ashton up there and O'Leary and what's his name? Schwartz, was it? Ed Schwartz?
Ed Schwartz, yeah.
Yeah, he came in and spoke. Although he did refer to us as a soccer franchise. Yeah, that wasn't great. But
we'll let him off with that. We'll let him off.
But
Council.
Yeah, he did refer to it as that. But what made me laugh yesterday was one of the media said to Cook, that could be a really valuable point at the end of the season. He was like, 100%. That point won't be valuable at the end of the season. Guaranteed. 3 points is valuable for the end of the season, isn't it? People will see the top 6 or just getting a point here and there.
Well, no, because and I get what people were saying about Oxford, top form, but yesterday I didn't think Oxford played to their form. I thought they played poorly, and that was my opinion of Oxford. I thought they didn't do enough to win it.
Well,
I never felt threatened.
Yeah, second half they kind of regressed into like just wanting to get a point. I think. I mean, at the end of the day, that point was good for them because it keeps them where they are and keeps us below them.
Exactly, it keeps you. It's like a jab in boxing. It keeps you at
Yeah,
arm's length.
exactly.
They know where we are. The point was better for them than it was for us, and this is what you're now going to start finding because our run, our fixtures against the top 6 sides are going to be a lot like this because we are playing catch up with them. So they're going to come to Portman Road or play at the Stadium of Light or wherever the top teams are going to be. And they're going to say, well, you need the points more than we do because you're catching us. So beat us. And
Steve's saying we could get into the playoffs by a point. I mean, bloody hell, if we're scraping into the playoffs by a point with our resources and budget, what have you, it doesn't hold much. I don't hold much into getting through into the championship.
Well, no, I just think, with the slow start, you've kind of got to say, yeah, Oxford, great run of form, Wycombe, great run of form. But we've slipped up against Morecambe and Cheltenham.
We did the easier games, so everyone thought.
So you've now got to go to hard places or have hard teams come to Portman Road, and you've got to find the way. Because for me, that's 2 points dropped yesterday. I really wanted to be a point outside the players come 5 o'clock, looking at clown costumes for the summer, thinking we were heading in the right direction. No, I did, and I do. And yesterday, I just felt. And people often say this, and I'll ask this to both of you. And I know, Kate, you've got a dash in a second, but I'll ask this to both of you before you go. You will never win every single game. People say that to you every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But do you think we did enough to win the game yesterday, Kate?
Yes, if it had been a different referee.
Okay. Matt, do you think we did enough to win the game yesterday?
There were really good chances, weren't there? I mean, we did hit the post twice, actually. From my view in the stand, I thought the Bond one, the first one, it actually was a clearance off the line. But I remember working with Ray Wilkins, Kate, and he said to me, the post is only there, Matt, to keep the goal net hanging up. It doesn't count for anything, does it? So might as well just go into the stand. So I don't know. There was chances there, but we just didn't take them. And, on another occasion, Bond might have scored them, but it wasn't another occasion. I just feel like probably we didn't do enough to win the game with clear-cut chances, and Oxford probably didn't deserve to lose it either, for me.
No.
Okay.
Go on.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I've actually been thinking about it, and I think I know what my issue is deep down about Town right now. I don't want us in the playoffs, obviously. You want automatic. I get that. We all do. I'm worried about our lack of psychological prowess and strength in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, to get there, we're on 24 points at the moment, Kate. So we need at least another 50, I would say, to get in there off the back of 29 games. That's quite difficult, I think. That's going to be quite difficult, I think. With this inconsistency we keep doing.
Don't forget time. We said all along, may not happen this season. Next season will be better. We still have 29 games left. Chris Boyd, opponents will look at that Oxford performance as they are the first ones to stop us from scoring and say the message is quite simple. Stop. Just frustrate Ipswich. They have no answer.
Teams that press Ipswich seem to get success against us, and keep that up for 90 minutes. Yeah, because we have to keep it long. And they've only got one player up front.
Yeah, the amount of times that Paul Macaulay-Bonne was in the box for a ball in on his own, that's my major issue with a lot of 4-2-3-1, particularly the way we're playing it with Evans and Morsey being a lot deeper. You end up with having one player in the box per cross, and that's just not enough. Second half, we got a lot more bodies in the box. But when I asked the question about, do you feel like we did enough to win it? We didn't. And I don't feel like we ever really made the concerted effort to really go right. We may consider sloppy counter-attack goal, but we need the 3 points. We're at home. Like the Piggott substitution for me is a waste of time. He's brought a Luca on and Chaplin. It's always painting by numbers. It's never imaginative. It's never innovative. It's always just
like for like swaps.
Paint by numbers.
Yeah, it is. And Bond started pinning off into the flanks now, hasn't he? And then you suddenly had Burns in the middle, which just seemed round the wrong way to me. You want your goal scorer in the middle, don't you? On the end of the cross.
You do. You do. And George says positive was outplaying the top teams in the league, but we're not winning. Like we've beaten Wycombe, fair play, but then we've come against Oxford, who are sixth, and we've been frustrated and slowed. And Kate, I'll let you run. I know the time. I'll let you go. Look after yourself. It's been a pleasure as always, Kate. I will now open it up to the community. Look after yourself, Kate. I'll open it up to the community. Link coming in. Have your say. Positive indifferent, whatever it might be. There is the link. Have your say. I just feel you press Ipswich Town, they go long. Bond, whether he wins the header or not is irrelevant. Second ball, we don't pick it up, and then you can play and you can really, because a lot of that game, it was like coming back every 5 minutes, and you're not giving your defense any time to really breathe. I'm frustrated. I really am, Matt. Yeah,
and I am as well, because obviously I've been a big Cook cheerleader, but his stock for me is dipping. It's not good. If we said to everyone in the summer, as we go into the end of November, we're going to be sitting in 9th, everyone would be fuming, wouldn't they?
I feel from my perspective, there's been a collective downgrade in ambition. When I was doing these shows this time last year, everyone to a man would have told me the squad is so good. Lambert's not getting enough out of it. The squad is so good. Change the manager and the results will be better. And I was saying, I wouldn't be so sure on that one. Cook comes in, says, we will aim for the playoffs. We should make the playoffs. Whatever he said. Obviously, then it didn't go to plan. Yeah. Cookie says, squad's not good enough. Everyone then goes, squad's not good enough. We'll give Cookie a pass on that one. We then put together a squad, bring in Selena, Bond, Chaplin. As you've said before, they're not playing for smarties. We stumble out of the blocks. Don't spring. We stumble. We're gelling. But we always take one step forward, 2 steps back. We beat Doncaster, get beat by Stanley. We beat Wickham. We draw at home to Oxford. He's then saying on a Friday night press conference, our 2 best home games this year have been Colchester and Newport. Everyone at the start of the year... Yeah, exactly. Everyone at the start of the year is saying, budget is there. This should be a top 3 side. I won't say top 2, top 3 side. We stumbled out the traps. Playoffs. Like we collect, from my perspective, having done the shows, it just feels like everyone is collectively downgrading ambition.
Absolutely. And now we're saying that point might be good enough to get into 6th place for the playoffs.
That's what I mean. So it's gone from a top 3 finish now to we might squeak 6. Stephen Perry, you're always positive. Bring it to us, my man. Give us something.
Give us something.
To be honest, I don't agree with what you just said. Quite frankly, I don't. I'm always positive. I want us to get top 2. Wow. But I'm realistic as well. I'm not naive. Yeah, we had a bad start. Paul Cook was perfectly right yesterday. Yeah, the likes of Oxford, the likes of Plymouth, a lot of these teams above us, Wickhams, Rotherhams, their teams have been together for a couple of years. Ours have been together for 4 months. Yeah. We had a rocky start. We had to play catch up. That I'm not denying. No, but over the last 5 games, we're getting more points than Wigan, more points than Sheffield Wednesday, more points than Wickham, more points than Sunderland. We are slowly chipping away. And my point saying that, that point might not be valuable, but because we're getting to 6th, I'm saying, that's the minimum we should achieve. Now, if we get into 6th by 1 point, that point would be valuable. And did I think we deserved to lose yesterday? No, I don't. I don't think Oxford would, for a team who's scored 23 goals in 10 games, they were pretty impotent. We were solid as a rock. And that goes back to another point. Were we starting the season a bit gung-ho and scoring loads but conceding loads? No, we're not conceding. We're not scoring as many. It's like a balance. Maybe it's swung a little bit too far the other way and they've got to pull it back a little bit. Maybe Paul Cook, as we've discussed on the show, said, maybe we're conceding a few too many goals. They've tightened up, but they've lost a little bit of the attacking prowess. Now, that's quite possible. We don't know. We don't know the discussions. Piggott coming on, that's an option. I find it strange he came on for 3 minutes, but it's human nature. I can understand why Paul Cook didn't do it.
Why? Tell me why. Tell me why, Steve.
It's 0-0. He wants to win the game. The guy, Paul Piggott on Tuesday was rusty. We all agree with that. Yeah. You've more chance of scoring from Bond. Yeah. He wants to give him as much time as possible to score a goal because he wants to win. Yeah.
Why can't you play both? Why couldn't you put both on? Because you keep Bond's goal scoring ability on the pitch and you bring on Piggott, who isn't going to get his rust knocked off, Steve, if he's on the bench.
I 100% agree. And he will play on Tuesday. But what I'm saying is the top and bottom of it is, this is what keeps saying. everybody says Paul Cook hasn't got another plan. Well, he has. It's plan A, do better. This is his plan B. Plan A better.
Plan.
It is a plan. It's plan A better. We've known this for a year. Yeah. And we're still going on about it. We heard it from Portsmouth, we heard it from Wigan, and we're still going on about it as if saying, well, this is a surprise. Well, no, it's not a surprise. We've known this for a year. Yeah. Can we just like dial it down and say, well, that's not what he does. Yeah. So why are we still saying, why is he not playing two strikers? Because he's not going to.
So then, that's absolutely, you're absolutely spot on there, Stephen. I completely agree with you. And then, but then the questions come around to, well, if we know what he is and we know what we want, people like Mike are very valid in questioning the manager's selections and job prospects at this football club. Are they not?
No, because how many managers play 4-4-2? In the top 3 divisions, how many managers play 4-4-2? Very few. Pep doesn't even play a striker. Come on.
Well,
let's be realistic. Yeah, I know you're saying it's not a comparison, but I'm sorry. In the elite leagues, if we have to class ourselves as an elite side, we want the championship, so we have to class ourselves as you look at the championship, how many 4-4-2 sides are there? I think there was 2 last season, Wickham and Rotherham. They both went down.
It's a good point.
You know, we can't build a side for 4-4-2 because it will get destroyed when we start going in the championship and we start going in the Premier League. We need to build a side that we can play, which has flexibility. And this side does have flexibility. You can put a number 10 in there. You can put a striker in that number 10 role and effectively, like he did at the death, and effectively have number 10. I think that should have been done earlier because I think Selly had run his race. But like I said, I'm not Paul Cook. I'm not making the calls. You know, you said yesterday after the match, you don't think the changes had any effect. Now, that's wonderful to say with hindsight, but I don't think at the time Paul Cook would have known that. If he'd have known that, I don't think he'd have made them changes. He made them changes in good faith, thinking they would have had some sort of idea. They would have had an effect. Yeah,
I get that, but then with that, Steve, you'd never sack a manager ever because you always say, well, in hindsight, he wouldn't have done that or he wouldn't have done this because
this wasn't a criticism of you, and it wasn't a criticism. We're all welcome to analyse it.
You can criticise me, man.
And 100%, you're 100% right to analyse it. But I'm thinking of it as put yourself in the manager's shoes, in his position, what he was trying to do. He was trying to freshen up the wings. Burns was being run ragged. You know, Edwards had gone off the boil. All he was trying to do was freshen up the wings. And to be honest, Chaplin came on and he put a bit of energy into it. You know, so it did work. And Luke had a few touches. So it did work for a degree. I do think we should have won. I don't think we looked troubled. I watched that match from start to finish. Not once did I look scared that they were going to score. They didn't really look like they were going to score at all. Walton was so confident. Edmondson was like a rock. Young Bailey Clements, for me, if he plays like that every game, he's not being dropped at all. No. So I'm getting a left back. We've got one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Steve, I've got people waiting. So as always, thank you for balancing it out. As always, my man. Building a side for the Championship and Premier League, Matt. Not going to play 4-4-2. Is that?
Well, I mean, look, Steve does make some great points there, but I don't like this. The plan B is plan A better, because that puts the onus on the players, then, doesn't it? There's no in-game management to say, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier. It's those paint by numbers changes, isn't it? Yeah. Plan A better doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? Because the onus is on the players. You know, we're talking about in-game management here, where you can change formation up or swap players around. For me at the moment, I don't know why he plays Edwards, because that guy gets subbed every week, and you see his shoulders drop when he gets subbed. And I do agree he doesn't have much in product. I mean, he does try really, really hard, and I do like his flair and his pace and the skill he brings to the side. But maybe he'd be better coming off the bench. I think Chaplin should be. If you got to play Selena, stick him left and have Chaplin in the middle.
Well, this is it, isn't it? It's plan A. I get what Stephen said, and Stephen makes some great points, as Leighton Durrant says. It's plan A, but do it better, because in the sense of you've got 2 wingers that are tasked to run at the back 4, and the number 10, Selena, tasked to get the ball, turn and run. Well, when that doesn't work, because unlike Wickham, Oxford didn't leave, didn't back off and back off and back off and back off. This is where I say you've got to change things. You've got Scott Fraser there, who's a very clever player, ball to feet, sticky control, can make things happen, can win a free kick in a dangerous area. You've got
Yeah.
Lee Evans and Sam Morsey. You're at home. Do you need both sitting for the 90? Can you maybe take off Sam Morsey, bring on Scott Fraser into that area, task him with getting on the ball and making things happen? Can you go to a 2? You know, you've got the squad here. It's what we're saying at the start of the show. The squad here to really, in game, make the opposition's manager head absolutely spin with what the hell are they doing now? And he said it. He said in the start of the season, me and Rich went to the press conference, the Q&A, sorry, and he said we'll have a different approach for different games.
Yeah, not done that, has he? Not been
You know,
I don't know if anyone asks that in the press conference. He's not been held accountable on that. Well, certainly you have to get used to Morsey not playing because I think he's 1 yellow away now from a suspension. Remember,
he is.
Suspension, yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, given that he gets booked every game, he'd probably be out by for the home games, either Rotherham or Crewe. Absolutely, he won't be playing in one of those.
And I don't think there's a man, woman, or child alive, particularly me and yourself, that do not want Paul Cook to succeed. I definitely want Paul Cook to succeed because if he succeeds, my football club succeeds. And that's I've stuck my neck on the line. I've even said I'll go as far as get a clown costume, wear it in the summer if we go up. I want to be promoted, which is why I'm probably as frustrated today, certainly, as yourself.
Well, just answer John Warren's comments there. When do the players have to take some responsibility? Well, absolutely. But Cook is responsible for all of it. It's his team, it's his selection, it's his tactics. He's overarching on all of that, isn't he? And to think that we're just going to keep doing Plan A and Plan B, and I've said it on here before. Definition of madness, doing the same thing over, expecting different results.
I don't mind 4-2-3 on starting the game every single week. It's, as I've said from the start of the season, it's the in-game or lack of adjustments that really craze me. Because if he's doing the same things he did at Wigan and Portsmouth, that shows a manager that's not progressed, isn't moving forward. Mike Fisherman. We know if Stephen's here, you're over here. So let's hear the yin to the yang, I suppose. What's on your mind?
Frustration is on my mind.
Yeah, frustrated pod. This one, I feel it. I really do.
I'm sick and tired of hearing if buts and maybes. If that went in, if he hadn't hit the post, if the referee had to give this decision, if a player had passed that, if you hadn't done it, so many ifs. It's just driving me up the wall. I'm fed up with people sticking up for Cook all the time as well. It's his way of playing. Well, if it's your way of playing, mate, I don't want it because I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up of we've got every. I just can't get my head around it. Piggott 3 minutes, 93 minutes, 94 minutes. I mean, what was all that about? That's embarrassing. Oxford's game plan yesterday was they turned up, flood the midfield, flood the back line, make it close space down, make it hard for us to get through, and try and nick a win. And that was how they lined up. And that's every team that comes to Portman Road. Oldham did it brilliantly. Colchester did it brilliantly with 4 players from our old squad of last year. I mean, with respect, people need a reality check when it comes to thinking that Paul Cook is Pep Guardiola. I'll behave. I mean, no disrespect.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said that Pep doesn't play with two up top.
League One football, right? League One football is about Plan A, Plan B. You can't have Plan A and if that don't work, we'll try Plan A again. That's just not going to work at this level. It never has done, never will do. That's why so many teams find it hard to get out of this league.
Well, if you look at that league table, people talk about, me and Steve obviously having a bit of a chat on Twitter. And he's right in saying that teams above us have not as got many as points or whatever. But the reality is, we're going to second. And we're 10 points behind them, And if people are happy with a draw at Oxford, that is shocking. We shouldn't be drawing at home. We should not be drawing any games. And 2 shots on goal, 2 shots on target yesterday. Yeah. Against, hang on, wait a minute. Shall we say, a Man City of this league? Is that what Oxford are now? Well, no, but they are a good measuring stick to compare yourself with, having been in the playoffs 2 years in a row. That's 2 years more than Ipswich Town have at this level. They are a good team, such as Wickham, to measure yourself against. Now, you're not always going to have the rub of the green as you did at Wycombe. And Wycombe have also, I think they lost yesterday again. Perhaps they're on a bit of a slide. Who knows? And you can't keep saying that as an excuse as to, oh, we won because Doncaster were poor or Wycombe were poor. We won. We convincingly won. That was a good thing. But as you said, they flooded the midfield. They pressed us high. They forced us long. They answered the questions that we were proposing on the test. I'll come back to it, and I'll keep coming back to it. We never changed the test. We never changed the questions.
No, this is look. Yes, we all knew. Well, look, I didn't actually know that Cook was this stubborn when it comes to the way he plays football.
And let me just say something.
And now he's here, and I've seen how stubborn it is. Fed up with it. I'm fed up with having the same conversation. Fed up with him. Fed up with him. I really am.
Mike, let's just talk about Oxford for a second, because you mentioned Oxford, and people in the chat have mentioned Oxford, and people on social media have been really upset with Oxford's antics, or sportsmanship, as I think we were calling it after the show yesterday.
Gamesmanship, we called it.
Gamesmanship. In all due respect to Oxford, they have done what I think the majority of teams will be playing in the next month will do. A point is good for us because it keeps you 4 behind us, or Wigan 10 behind us. You have to close the gap on us. It's not us chasing you. Mm-hmm. So if you want the 2 extra points to close the gap, gamble, make a move. And if you do it, great. But if you don't and we capitalise, hey, that's football. That's the way it goes. But we're happy at 55, 60 minutes to say, hey, so point's a point. It's still 4 points ahead of you. Job done. You're going to get that every week from this point on, aren't you, against top 6 sides, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it's going to happen. And, we're not going to climb, as Mike said, we're not going to climb the table drawing at home. At the moment, I've just worked out, Plymouth are on their marker at the moment. It's 97 points, Mike, if they continue. 1 defeat in 17, 36 points from 17 games. So if we're still thinking about we're going to get into the top 2, you're going to be looking at late 80s into 90s at the moment. We ain't going to get anywhere near there. I don't think we're going to get in the playoffs at the moment. I really don't.
I agree with that as well. And that's quite sad, really, because Kate was on earlier, and I agree with it. I feel deflated. Look, the club is doing amazing things. I feel like the club itself is coming back.
Yeah,
but Cook for me is demoralising all that with his in-game management. Look, against Oxford, I could take a draw against any team in this league, right? If at say 60 minutes, 65, Cook was changing it up and think, oh, do you know what? It's not working. Let's put 2 up front. 2 up front at home has always been a great, 1 up front never bodes well for me. Always has, never has done. I don't like it. And if there was that in-game management and you felt like he was trying to win the game, then you could, as fans, you could kind of like, look, we huffed and puffed and it didn't quite work out. But that's not happening. Pig it on at 93 minutes. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. I spoke to Country about this and I said, my boy's 14. He plays on the right now. He was a striker and he plays more on the right and he's starting to love that position. And I said to him, look, you're a striker. You were playing. I said, if your manager kept you on the bench, right, and you were needing to win that game and he brought you on when there's literally a minute to go, how would you feel? And this is a 14-year-old kid saying, do you know what? I'd be so angry. And if I was Piggott, I'd be fuming.
Yeah.
I feel like the Cook substitution, Matt, has sort of really hurt his stock.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone around me was like going, what? Why now? Why was this not, with 20 to go, 25 minutes to go?
Yeah. We would have had more truck with the Dazor, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we, Matt? Wouldn't we, mine? We would have had more. Look, we're not going to win every game. I get that. But
you got to try and win.
If you felt that Cook was changing things to try and get a win, you would have more. You would say, do you know what? Okay, look, at least we tried. At least we gave the effort. At least we tried to get the win. But going on, if only that had gone in, if that ball hadn't hit the post, that's just if maybes and what ifs. The reality is they haven't gone in, and the goals. We are scoring goals at the moment. And we struggled to beat 2 League 2 sides. And, hang on, we won because it was on penalties. I'll behave, please. 90 minutes is the game of football. That's where games are won and lost and drawn.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, Italy give back the European Championships, please, because obviously it was a draw. Mike,
a few people are saying, man, like telling us to, you know, they feel if they think we're wrong, saying we're not going to get into the playoffs. Man, what are you seeing out of the last 3 matches to say that we're going to be top 6?
Well, I was going to tell you this. I think you're wrong there. I was going to come up from the other side here. I think we've got enough about us squad-wise to be a top 6 side, and I think we will finish inside the top 6 because the league is the league, and we've got enough resources to do so. I mean, you know, you'd have to really foul spectacularly with this squad to not get it inside the top 6. Like,
well, you'd expect to be in the top 6 now, though, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but a season's 46 games long, and I just think there's enough games still against the sides that aren't in the top 6 to get inside the playoffs. So it's whether, as Kate was saying earlier, you know, your mental strength and your ability against those top 6 sides. Now, we've seen Wycombe, we blew them away. We've huffed and we've puffed, and I never really felt we've threatened Oxford.
Those performances are few and far between, aren't they? That's the issue.
They are. And as Ryan...
That's the problem. If we had back-to-back wins, Mike, we'd be sitting here thinking happy days. But we don't ever get them.
That's the problem, isn't it? We are looking at games. There's so many games that I can think of where we lost and drew. I think, you know what, if it had done a tactical change then, I know it's if, but I look back and think, you know, you needed to make tactical changes there to come up with a plan B if plan A isn't working. You know, that's 101 psychology. And every team that comes up against Cook, look, if I was a manager of another team, the way Oxford played yesterday away from home, that is exactly how I would play and set my team up against Ipswich, because they're easy to play against when you close down the space.
Yes, exactly.
Fair enough. Mike, as always, it's a real pleasure talking football with you. Look after yourself. Thanks for popping on. We've got Terry Cook. Seems to be hoping that over the season, the ups and downs will even out. Over time, it may work, but it's not a quick fix. Better managers adapt. I think Ryan says something quite apt. Nobody's saying sack him. We just want things to change in the game when there's a stalemate, and it's there for the taking. And I felt Oxford yesterday, for the red hot form they were in, was there for the taking. I really did.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Lee's saying there, where were Blackpool this time last season? Well, Blackpool, I think, Lee, went on like I think they went out of 22 games. They only lost 2 in that last half of the season. One was against us, weirdly. We did the double, didn't we?
I really struggled, though, Matt, comparing us to any side over previous years, because the resources are... Do you know, like we had the previous players of last year, I would be saying, yeah, okay, fair point.
Yeah.
But I think
you can't compare clubs. Like, it's a different season. It's a different... it's different context going on. But interestingly, Mike referring to Man City there, isn't that supposed to be us?
Well, this is it. Lee Bayers, was Cook out in these games against Pompey, Wycombe away? This is what I was going to ask you earlier in regards to the lineups. With the same formation, he picks the same team as Oldham. The players need that responsibility in what they do when they cross the line. So this is what I was trying to get at earlier. When you put it on the shoulders of the players, they cross the white line against Oldham, they don't deliver. Are you then surprised to see the same trust repaid in the exact, minus Bailey Clements for an injury, same 11?
I feel like he was probably giving them a second opportunity there. I mean, there's no doubt in that Oldham game that we scored too early and then suddenly thought we were going to start coasting it. I mean, even me and Rich were sitting there going, Rich was going, once we get to 3-0 after an hour mark, make some sums, man. I was going, oh, yeah, I totally agree. And of course, it didn't turn out like that at all, did it? So maybe we did get over. And Cook did say, didn't he? There was an arrogance in our play I didn't like. But again, that comes from him, doesn't it? He's on the touchline. He's in the dressing room at half time saying to people, right,
He had 5 subs that day.
And 5 subs. Again, Pickett didn't get a look in that day, did he? I just find it really weird.
Let's flip it. We didn't lose. So you've not lost ground, because obviously, if you do lose, you go from 4 to 7 points behind MK Dons. So you're still 4 points. You're still in touch. So that's a positive. Bailey Clements is a positive. George Edmondson was a positive.
Yes,
it's just, the in-game adjustments.
Just not... They're positives, but they're not quite good enough positives. The big positive is getting 3 points next to your name at 5 o'clock on a Saturday, and it's just not happening. And we're having these conversations. Look, we've got Sheffield Wednesday just above us. Their fans will be thinking about breaking into the top 6. Sunderland fans will be thinking about breaking into the top 6. They want a new manager, don't they? They want Lee Johnson out, don't they?
They do.
There's no, and he started off quite well there. And you've got Pompey bubbling just below us. Danny Kelly will be thinking about getting to the top 6. So I can't see Wigan falling out of the top, and I can't see Rotherham. MK Dons are doing all right. maybe they'll falter. I don't know. Rotherham's a good example, isn't it? That's a team that's been bouncing between Championship and League One for years.
Yeah.
They don't seem to struggle when they come back down. They go straight back up again.
Don't talk to me, though, about MK Dons, whatever you do, because that's the side that I look at in the league table there and I really get angry about. Not angry, upset. Upset is probably a better word, because that's a side on next to no budget with a coach that they've taken a punt with, if you like.
From Ipswich as well.
Yeah, and he's and they're above us. Now, that might not be the case from the season, but they're above us. Then I look at us and I think, we've got great resources, a good squad. Have I got a manager that's progressing? And in the same way, maybe Liam, is it Liam Manning? The name is, and then Manning. Yeah, the same way he is. And
he was the Ipswich Academy coach, wasn't he? And then I think he joined the Man City set up, and then from there he goes to their sister club in New York City, and then come back. I mean, look, they like to take a punt on new names, don't they? With new philosophies, new styles, and we've kind of put our eggs in the basket of Cook on someone who's got a CV, who's got trophies, who's a success at this level. But I don't know. At the moment, it's not working because we're not in the top 6 with the budget we've got. We should.
Stephen Parry, our form is better or equal to everyone in the top 8 than 3, but we're starting from further back.
Yeah, but look at the performances though over the last week. They've not been very good.
Yeah, let's just bring that, because I feel like you're really fixating on the 2 cup performances, and that's really sort of playing into your mindset here. Yeah.
I just thought it was terrible at home. Okay, the crowds weren't big. I get that. So we didn't have that 12th man behind them. There wasn't 22,000 like there was yesterday. But it was just so below par. And again, we saw, we're going back to the tactics in the Oldham game. We did not look like scoring again in that Oldham game, did we? In the second half.
No.
We could still be there now trying to score against them. And I've said, I've got some friends who are Orient fans in my boxing gym, and they were going, "Oh, you'll roll them over easy." Terrible team. And even yesterday when I went into the gym before I came to the game, they were like, "How did you draw with them?" I was like, "I don't know."
Keith, Rome wasn't built in a day, no, but I'd like to see some foundations.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like probably Cook has had enough time now, in all honesty. He's had the back end of last season, and he's had quite a few games this season. Lee
Brown says, focus on our league form, Matt.
Well, at the moment, our league form, Lee, Lee's a great guy. I love chatting to him before we go into the ground. But we've said him 9th.
He's a wind-up merchant. That's what he is. He's a wind-up merchant. Me and the Cobble.
He was your stand knocked down, he told me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Callie!
Hi, Callie. He's still at the park. That's where you were when I saw you yesterday.
I'm on the way to sunny Birmingham. So
right.
I was listening to the show while I was getting ready, and I said to Martin, "Send me the link, man," because there's too much negativity, man. Like, okay, yesterday, let's look at the last 90 minutes. Problem for us was that final killer ball, right?
Yes.
We made enough chances. I will agree with you in terms of timing of substitutions. Like, why Selena got 92 minutes, I don't know. He should have come off at 45. Should have been hooked at 45.
Yeah.
Bond should have been off second half anyway. He should have gone, right? He wasn't, it's not firing, right? But Matt alluded to earlier on Matt Holland's comments that he said. But this is the in-form side in the league, and they look shit. Like, absolute. Like, Norwich looked better than them. They were shit. And that's saying something, right?
Yeah.
They were time wasting as soon as second half kicked off.
Yeah, they were.
And that was their thing. And you're saying, hold on, this is the team that Carl Robinson himself said, a lot of teams are gonna have to play some good football against us to really beat us. We played shit and we look better than them. Right? Yeah. If I'm looking at the kind of glass half full and silver lining and all the rest of it, it's a clean sheet. We've struggled for clean sheets in the league. So a clean sheet against an Oxford side who have been scoring, so that's a positive there. But it is just that final. It's that final, that final ball. There were chances there. It will click. I think there is still a bit like the travelling. You got Penny, who I know Matt Stannard's love child come in and did a good job, but
it's true. He did.
I still think Penny. And I'm going to say this: Penny would have helped a bit more attacking. Had a bit more of an attacking presence. That's his strength. Penny's not a good defender. He's better going forward, and maybe that would have helped because JD was certainly getting down on the right wing as well. But I don't know. It's just that final little ball. it will come good. I still have hopes for top 2, right? Because I know we're saying 10 points of Wigan or whatever, but it's 10 points. It's 29 games left. You know, people are beating everyone. They're just because Oxford haven't dropped that. Okay, they might have dropped 2 points, or you know, they might have seen it as us dropping 2 points and a point gain for them. But they're going to drop points against people that we're not going to expect. All we can do is keep concentrating on our game.
£10, Duncan Ferrer. Thank you very much. Sorry, Kelly.
Hey, Duncan. Shout out.
Cheers, Dunk. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate
Cheers, Duncan, for supporting the Talking Town OnlyFans platform. Crunch will send you those pictures later. But no, it's since he's had his surgery post Bailey Clemence's comment. So yeah,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But it is one of those where we've got the squad. We do look good, right? There is just that final thing. Like it was Dross last year, like the games we were winning 1-0 and stuff like that. It was Dross, right? We'd come away from the game thinking, how did we do that? Whereas now we're pissed off. We drew 0-0 with the team that's been in the top 6 2 years in a row, playoffs as well. Like I think they got to the final one of the years, didn't they? Or did they not?
They did. They did.
So they've got you know, fairly strong squad. Carl Robinson's a good manager as well. They've come here and they've looked absolutely shit, and that's not because they're shit. It's because we made them look shit.
I thought they were good in the first half, Kelly. I've got to say.
They had a good period in the first half, 20 minutes. Right. 20 minutes, they were all right. But like they never, apart from that shot where I think Walton had to make, and it was a really great save in the first half.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do a lot. But then equally, we didn't test their goalkeeper. No, it was just literally like, you know, midfield will win the ball. One midfield will win the ball, get a break, go down an attack, and then it you know, crosses bad or passes bad. Our decision making was not right yesterday, but we've said that before. Yeah. Cookie gets his substitutions right, and you know, if we see, you know, proper, to quote you guys and Fisherman, in-game management from Cookie, that's when you can see, you know, us doing something. I don't understand why. Like I said, the most baffling thing yesterday was that Selena got basically a full 90. When I'll be honest, I thought he's the weakest player on the pitch. You think about what he does, what he's meant to do in his job, which is creativity, carrying the ball. He'd carry the ball, but his decision making was awful. Yeah. It was just final passes from everyone, but it'll come. You know, Tuesday we're at Oldham. We'll go through in the FA Cup. Saturday against Sunderland, I think we'll beat Sunderland. I think it'll be a close one, but I think we'll beat them.
Yeah. So at some point, Cal, we've got to beat a team that you can't say are on the slide. Do you know what I mean? Like Cookie for himself and for his.
We did that.
Well, yeah, Wickham was that, wasn't it?
Wickham, but then they've lost the following week, and they're you know, you at some point, what I'm saying is you've got to take an Oxford, the informed side, just to silence people a little bit and say that, you know, we're not getting teams.
The one, right, isn't it?
But I think I think we. So I get what you're saying. To get that win, right? We want to take that.
That's not my opinion. I'm just saying, to silence the critics, to say, look, you know, we're not getting teams at opportune times. We're getting Oxford red hot form. We're beating them. They go in the following week and knocking Doncaster, let's say, for 4. You know, you've got to at some point.
I do get that, but we would. And the thing is like we're so close to that. And what I mean by that is Plymouth, top of the table. Right, 20 more minutes. I stand by it. 20 more minutes, or if we'd kicked it into gear 20 minutes earlier, we win that game. And that's with Coulson as a right winger, a makeshift right back, a makeshift left back. Right, so you had a makeshift team that had travelled to the other side of the bloody country. Right, well, certainly for me, fucking far. Never doing that again. And then you had you had Wickham, obviously, who. You know, Fortress, Adams Park.
Very
true.
Adams Park, Adams Park.
You know, with the funky light show and all the rest of it, all the extra LED bulbs they've got. And then it was just Oxford. This would have been good. I get what you're saying. It would have been good to get a win there, right? But we are close. We're getting there. I do worry about the only concern I have for Cookie or whatever is when's Piggott going to play? Because, you know, and this is no disrespect to Bond. Every fan will tell you this. Every football fan will tell you this, that a striker's hot 1 minute, but he will go off the boil eventually. And that's just what happens, right? So when he's gone off the boil, you know, a couple of games he's not scoring. Let's bring Piggott in. That game for me was made for Piggott. Like Macaulay wasn't winning anything in the air. He was getting bullied up front. That game was made for Piggott. But we'll see. I'm not questioning Cook. He's still our manager. He's still our king. We'll be singing his name when we go up. E-I-E-I-E-O, all that.
I'll wear the
stuff.
clown suit, 100%. Callie, as always, appreciate you, buddy.
See
Thanks
ya,
so much
lads.
for popping in.
Everyone.
Neil, sadly, I'm gonna have to sort of call the time on the show there. Hopefully, you can come back tomorrow on the Talking Territory time. You'll be first on if you can.
Yeah,
I'm sensing the frustration, Matt, from the fans and from the chat, and then some fans wanting more positivity and saying stick with it. Do you feel, as a fan base, this is now coming to a head in the sense of we've been patient for 20 plus years. You've suddenly been shown a little bit of money, smelt a bit of ambition, and you're still finding yourself really in a league position, nothing else aside, just the league position, in a no better situation than when Lambert and Evans was here.
Yeah. No, I get that. I do feel like, as we said it earlier in the show, the positioning of the game changer guys have come in the signings, not that, just raised expectations massively. If that had been tempered a little bit and they said, this season we're just going to lay a bit of a foundation. If we can get into the top 6, fantastic. Then we'll try and push for the title next season if we don't do it. I think people would have been cool about that. If we were sitting 9th at the moment, 4 or 5 points out of the playoffs with a team that's building and there's a little bit more patience there. But the fact is we've got all guns blazing. 19 new players in. Players have dropped down from the championship to here.
Selena's arrived from France.
Selena's arrived. Unbelievable. £3 million player. And expectations have skyrocketed. And unfortunately, it's not being matched on the pitch and by our league position. People get annoyed.
And as Town fans who have been patient for 20 odd years, this is me now personally. I want it now. I don't want it tomorrow. I don't want it yesterday. I want it now. I want to be planning championship trips now. I want to be, or at the very least, looking as a top 4 side and people going, Town in red hot form. Oxford won't relish going to Portman Road, and fans of other League One teams not saying what the Fisherman says that they are saying, which is, according to the Fisherman, he says, other League One fans say are easy to play against. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear, oh Christ, we've got Town next week.
Yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be, to coin a Brett Johnson side, this is supposed to be the Phoenix Rising season, isn't it? We're supposed to be making our big entrance back into the championship, and then with aspirations elsewhere. And we're seeing it off the pitch. It's brilliant. I love it. The stadium, the fan forums, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Ashton, Mike O'Leary, fantastic. But the performances have just been really disappointing.
Safe to go. You're right with that statement, Gov. Sadly, and it is sadly, and I as I say it, I'm thinking, it is sad. It is, and I don't think me aside, this is not me now. I don't think anyone's really calling for the removal of the manager, Paul Cook, and saying, it's this, that, or the other. I just think people are a little bit now, being November, 17 games in, frustrated that we're not seeing from time to time the occasional switch up.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I felt that all week on the back of these 3 games. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I did say to you both last week, the WhatsApp group, let's see who he puts out next week against Oxford to see if he's holding the standard. Because as me as a manager, and you can only speak for yourself. When I've managed, and albeit Sunday morning level, it's not anything special. If I'd put a main team out for a cup game the week before and they'd disappointed me, I would have personally made a couple of changes to say that's not what we expect at this football club. That's not the. Because he's brought 19 players in, so he's got the tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
Almost 2 sides.
Even we've got so many players now. Some are falling off the radar. Like someone mentioned Tom Carroll the other night. I completely forgot about him. Where's John Nolan? Do you know what I mean?
Kane Vincent-Young's shoulder wasn't that bad. I was surprised he didn't play left back yesterday.
Yeah.
But Bailey Clements did really well. That's a really good positive.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant to see.
But that also makes it a bit more maddening, because if you'd had Clements at left back all season and Idris El Mizini in midfield all season, and you could see youngsters being brought through, as you were saying a second ago, with that foundation and that building, as a fan, you sit down and you're patient. But when you see the Selenas and the Bond and the Chaplins arrive, the artillery, you think, we're going to blow teams out of the water here. This is no longer HMS Pistol League. This is the warship Pistol League. This is a ship that's going to roll into enemy territory and blow them out of the bleeding sky.
And now, and it's gone the other way now, hasn't it? You've got all the options. You've got all the abundance of options, but now it feels like we're just dealing with a foundation for next season.
We're
That's what it
sending
feels
a
like
frigate
to me.
out with a bayonet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a missed again. It was typical. It's a missed opportunity, isn't it? Again,
But there's still lots of football to go.
there's lots of season to go. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can only go on what we've seen this last week. It's been 3 home games. We haven't won any of them.
No.
We've scored 1 goal.
Yeah, not good, that is it. But I'm not looking at the cups. The cups are irrelevant. I couldn't care if we'd scored 100 goals or no goals, and we knocked out both.
It's momentum, though, isn't it? It's momentum. Let's see how we go Tuesday. See what team we puts out Tuesday. And of course, there's another big one coming up against Sunderland next week. That's huge. It's going to be a huge game for us.
We've got to beat Sunderland.
Yeah, that's a team on the slide right now.
Yeah, Lee Johnson's got big questions to be answering, and you feel if you can get an early goal there, that is a place that will turn quicker than my milk.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing Ipswich have to learn. Exactly. Suddenly turning that big crowd onto the home on the home team, be like a 12th man for us. But let's see if we can do it. I mean, again, that's like a big mental test, isn't it? That's a big mental test for us. But again, that's how you break into the top 6 and then see a run to the top 2 or whatever. But it's going to be difficult. Like I say, Plymouth are on target for 97 points at the moment. I mean, we keep saying teams are beating each other. No one's beating Plymouth. Got 1 defeat in 17. So you've got to say they're going to probably finish top 2 at the moment. Yeah,
Stephen Parry, Penny out injured, and he played Clements, but how much credit does he get? Nothing. I don't know. I thought I gave him some credit there. I thought I gave.
Really?
Yeah, and Cook for playing him. And Cook for playing him. That is fair.
Yeah, good.
Full credit to Paul Cook for playing him.
Yeah.
We didn't lose momentum, says Stephen Parry. Again, a very true comment. We didn't. I think that's that's what makes it more frustrating from my perspective. And I don't know about yourself. If we'd lost, you could have gone maybe a bit more closer on the spectrum towards Mike Brown.
Yeah.
If we'd won, which is what we all want, you go closer to Stephen Parry's side of the tipping counter, and you're like, yeah, everything's going great. Top 2 still in play.
Yeah.
But the needle didn't move.
No, exactly. There's actually no momentum there because we just consistently drew 3 games.
And it's like you've played at home against Oxford, who red hot form. But as I was arguing with somebody on Twitter last night, they were there for the taking. They were very poor, I felt. And yes, you can say we made them poor, but we still had them, I feel, like a cat had a mouse, and we let it get away. Yeah. And the needle didn't move. You want that needle when you're playing catch up against the teams to move, because eventually you will slip up against a Morecambe, because that's football.
Well, we did slip up against Morecambe, didn't we? We drew 2-2 of them at home. Yeah, exactly. Again, another missed opportunity. It just seems these missed opportunities are starting to pile a bit for me, which is why we know. And
you're a cook, and you were a big. We often have a set too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a cult of Cook, I call it.
Yeah, but I'm a big Cook fan. But I'm only going on what I've been watching.
Well, there we go. We are back to. It's been a good show, actually. And it's been a real. As I said at the start, I think it's a shame that you have to sort of put little sub clauses in things these days. I found that that's what I'm finding with ITFC social media a lot. You've got to put a sub clause in something. Like, you can't say your opinion. You've got to say, oh, this is what I think, but it could also be this, because otherwise you'll get yourself screenshotted out of context. It's not a great place to be, I don't think, at the moment.
No, exactly. But we're calling it as we see it. We've had some great opinions. Steve's come on, give us the positive side. Mike's come on, kind of more agreeing with what I was saying today. And Kate's come on with a bit of positivity. So it's good to see people are positive. But soon we'll all find out who's right and who's wrong. And
as I always say,
guys are right, because I want to see positivity. So I hope they are right.
Well, I've got size 15 feet. I just need the clown costume. So Cookie delivered a promotion, and I'll wear the clown costume all summer long. Trust me, my friend, I really will. And I just, we're all looking at it, the same piece of string, I call it. We're all looking at that one bit of string just from different ends. And, we all want the best thing for this football club. And long term, we may look back at this show in a year's time and say, flipping heck. Were we a bit were we a bit strong, or you look back in a year's time and you say we weren't strong enough, maybe. That's football. All we can do, as I said at the start of the show, is give you our 100% passionate, honest opinions on what we feel. You may call them negative because you disagree, or you may call them happy clapping because you can never please everybody all of the time. We just do our best on this show, and we'll do our best again tomorrow at 8:30. Myself, Curtis, and George. George has got a spreadsheet, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can say at this point. He has been working on a spreadsheet today. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You have to tune in to find out tomorrow at 8:30 for Talking Town's Extra Time. But for now, We've had a really good show. Hopefully Neil Perch will join us, be first on with the fan
Yeah,
reaction.
that's right.
You've got the fans react show from a very wet Portman Road to catch up on if you've not yet seen it. Please do watch it. Do not make me getting wet in vain. This hair with the gel does drip when it gets
Give us
wet.
the views. We got soaked.
Absolutely, we did. But you are the media mogul, Matt Phillips. Bod the Nod says clean sheet, didn't lose, decently debut from Bailey. Important thing is we know we can still improve.
Yeah.
It's a great way to end the show.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do think so. But he is the media mogul. I am the Gov. You can support us through Ko-Fi. Everything helps keep the show going and keep the platform running. But thank you to Duncan and thank you to Matt Stunner for your YouTube super chat. And for those that have tuned in. But until tomorrow at 8:30, do not forget Crunchers Pack Out PR initiative where we can donate some money to get some fans. Just get some fans in the stadium. I think he's over £3,000. That's really good. But until tomorrow, with love, with care.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding